Just had a nice walk here on the beach. So, you've been brainwashed by society, by the elites, by government, by corporations to believe that you need to work 40 hours a week to survive. And it's a complete and utter psyop. Now in some industries, a rare few probably do need to work that much, but if you take the average job, which is a office worker, the average office worker on an 8-hour day actually works a little under 3 hours per day. And all the research says that the less we do, the more we get done. The less hours the workday is, the more productive people are. The less days in the week, when we move to a 4-day work week instead of a 5, people are more productive, happier, and so on. And it makes complete and utter sense. And you can actually take that all the way back to children, and with going to school and education and homework and all of this. Less is more. So why have we been told to go to work for 40 hours a week? Well, there's a few reasons. I'm going to get into that. I don't know if you can hear this guy. This guy's on that. This guy here, he's just sitting on this sunbed, just singing to himself. Cyprus, man, love it. So, for those of you who know, I'm a tennis coach, and the average hours for me as a tennis coach is either 5 or 6 hours a day. And I say that to people, and some people laugh, and they're like, "You only work 5 or you only work 6 hours a day?" Listen. As a tennis coach, if you're working 6 hours a day, 6 hours in a row, you're working for 6 hours in a row. All right? None of this office crap where you're going for coffee, having a chat, right? Doing 3 hours, barely doing 3 hours work a day. You're actually doing the full work. And it's one of those rare jobs where it's a mix of physical and mental, right? If you're an office worker, it's just mental. If you're on a building site, it's just physical, generally speaking. Whereas coaching is a bit of both. You're on your feet, you're running around, playing points, concentrating, discipline with kids, thinking of tactics, techniques, you name it, right? Anyway, my point is, my schedule has always generally been you start at 3 p.m, finish at around 8 or 9. That's always allowed me so much time in the day. So much time, free time, do what I want. This is predominantly before I had children, right? And since I've had kids, I've been very fortunate. So when they were young, they were babies growing up, I've been able to spend so much time with them because of that schedule. Now in the last week, as this plane goes by, we've had a bunch of people come over from Estonia. So we've done a bunch of extra hours. We've done 9 hours a day. And it's very, very interesting what's been happening. Now obviously, going from 6 to 9, 50% increase, a little bit more on my 5-hour days. Got a lot less time, a lot less energy. And this week, in the free time that I've had, I've not wanted to do anything. I haven't trained, I haven't had the desire, the energy to do anything. All I've wanted to do at the end of the day is plonk myself down in front of the TV and, to be honest, and just watch some brain dead garbage. And I've also become a worse parent. In the breaks that I've had, I've wanted to try to keep rest at a maximum, right, and recover. So I've kind of just been a really shitty dad and given my kids a bit more screen time. Now I feel terrible for that because I know what screen time does to a child. And I've been ordering more deliveries, right? We've had a couple more deliveries, takeouts, Burger King, a pizza, right? Eating crappier food. And it really had me thinking, like, and someone sent me a brilliant video. It was such weird timing. They sent me a brilliant video on this, you know, within my men's community. And it was resonated with me, and it was so similar to the thoughts I'd been thinking. And that, like, that's the average working day. That's the average working week for people. They go to work, they've got 8 hours, they've got the commute, they come home, the minimal time they've got is what are they going to do? They're going to go to the gym, and they're going to do a hobby, and they're going to do something, go for a walk. Man, most people are just too spent, physically and mentally tired to go and want to do anything else. So they plonk themselves in front of the TV. Now, you're told to work 40 hours, you're told to work full time, so you get a full-time wage, so therefore you've got more money. Now, when you've got more money, and you're watching TV, and you're on your phone, and you're scrolling, what are you also watching? A lot of adverts. Or you're watching some garbage TV. What I was watching is a bunch of garbage TV where it's like, you just feel a little bit like keeping up with the Joneses sort of feeling. So, what do you do in this instance? When you're watching adverts and you're watching all this crap and you feel like maybe you're a little bit behind, or maybe you're not quite as good looking as other people, so you have to get something done or spend some more money buying some clothes or whatever. You want to spend more money. You just get programmed into spending more money. And then in the free time that you do have, the minimal free time you have, 2 days a week where you can actually do something, you want to make the most of it because it's so minimal. So what do you end up doing? You want to pay money for experiences. You want to go and do things. You want to go to the cinema, the theatre. You want to go to a concert. You want to go out and get drunk and spend loads of money on booze, or you want to go shopping or whatever it is. It's all to spend money. Because on my normal schedule, what do I do on my time when I take that time off before 3 p.m? Spend it with my boys, go to the beach, go for a walk, go to the park, train, exercise, read a book, study, do some work on a side hustle. All this stuff that basically costs zero money, and you know what? I'm way happier when I do that. This week I felt miserable, and that's just 1 week. People do this for years, people do this their whole lives. And the elites, the system, whatever you want to call it, corporations, they all know that less is more, less is better, you'll be more productive. But there's no incentive for the system to tell you that, to push for that, because they know it keeps you as an obedient slave that will continue to pay into the system to keep that GDP rising. Because if we all just work part-time, live happier lives spending less money, the economy will end up collapsing anyway. Or would it? Maybe that's also a lie. Maybe that's also part of the fear-mongering to keep us all turning up. And I'm being very, very fortunate in my life that I don't have to work, generally speaking, that many hours. And there are some, like I said before, there are some rare occupations that need that amount of hours or even more. For the most part, we don't. But it's not going to come from these corporations. It's not going to come from, even though I think if we push these corporations because our productivity would be better, it's not going to come from government and so on to change the system, to wake up. It's going to take us to do it. It's going to take us to wake up and push for way more balance in our lives. To understand that we don't need to be there that long. We don't need to be literally slaves for that long. We don't need to be buying unnecessary stuff. We don't need to be keeping up with the Joneses. When you have more free time, you'll be spending less money, you'll be happier. When we realize that and wake up to that reality, we can start to push for this. We can start to be like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go and do that stuff. And I'm not talking about as individuals trying to like figure it out on your own. In the meantime, yes, but collectively we need to wake up and start talking about this stuff. Maybe start protesting this stuff, protesting the 40-hour work week, man. Because for most people, it's completely and utterly unnecessary, and is just contributing to your depression, your lack of purpose, feeling good and whatnot. Something to think about, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. And like I mentioned, if you want to chat about stuff like this, more one-to-one with me, my link to my free men's community is in the description. Come and join me in there.